Going to the OBGYN when you are a trauma survivor. Let's talk about tips to make that easier today. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Dr. Jennifer Lincoln, board certified OBGYN author and social media educator, and today I'm talking about a really difficult topic. Going to the OBGYN if you are a trauma survivor. So if you are a survivor and you're watching these videos and you watch my channel, I want you to just know that's what we're talking about today. You may or may not want to watch it, or if you feel like you need a break, you need to step away or stop watching it, just pay attention to your body and do what feels right to you. Before I get started, if you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notifications, hit the bell so you never miss an upload. Okay, I want to talk about this one because it's important and I've got my list of things that I want to cover today. Here's the deal. Trauma is real, and I'm talking about sexual trauma, physical, mental, emotional, if you have been a survivor of obstetric violence, anything at all, where if you feel like when you think about your annual visit or coming to see us, you start to, feel really triggered or feel really nervous, or you may avoid care altogether, I want to give you some concrete steps on how to make it easier, because even if you have experienced sexual violence or sexual trauma, you still deserve really good health care and you deserve to have your needs met. And so let's talk about how to make that easier. Okay, today I've got 10 tips, so let's jump right in. First piece of advice, pick someone you trust. And you may say, Dr. Jen, that's easy to say. How do I know if I'm going to trust this OBGYN or this midwife or nurse practitioner? And you're right, you might not know till you meet them. I really recommend asking friends who they really like, word of mouth. Ask your primary care provider who they go to or who they refer their patients to. There's lots of different ways to find an OBGYN or a reproductive health care provider who's right for you. So let's say you pick somebody and you want to know if there's somebody that you trust. This goes into number 2, which is it's okay to make an appointment just to talk. And the reason for that is that you want to know if you do trust them, if you do feel safe around them. So it is absolutely okay to schedule a visit and say, I'm here just to talk and I'm setting that boundary. I am not ready for an exam today and I just want to get to know you, see if I feel safe in this space. That is absolutely okay. I have heard from people who have said that when they have tried to make an appointment just to, get to know you, or a meet and greet, or even just have an appointment where they've said from the outset, I'm not going to have an exam, they've been told that we don't do that here at that office, or that's not how our doctor works. Well, lucky you, because they're telling you on the phone, you already know that's not somewhere you want to go, because you absolutely have the right to request this. Tip number 3 is to prepare. So you've done it. You have made an appointment. This might be the first time you're going to see somebody ever, or since your trauma, or maybe in recent years, and you might feel really overwhelmed and really nervous. So it's really important to prepare. What that means might be very different from person to person. Maybe preparation means really getting to know this healthcare provider, looking into their bio, reading up on reviews, understanding how their office works. Maybe for other people, it's doing a dry run. It's just driving past the office, pulling into the parking lot and being like, okay, I can do this. And tomorrow when I come back for my appointment, now I feel more prepared. Or maybe it might be writing down your questions or some other form of self-preparation because you know that going to this kind of appointment, it might be a hard day. So you're taking care of yourself beforehand so that you feel ready to do this. Maybe it's getting a good night's sleep beforehand, or just having a day off beforehand where you can just kind of chill and relax. Whatever you might think it is, go ahead and do it. Okay, tip number 4, bring somebody. And you might say, Jen, they're not letting us because of COVID. We have exceptions. And so if you say, I need somebody there, or I am not going to physically be able to get through this appointment, let us know, because we can make exceptions even in pandemic times. So when I say bring someone, choose wisely. Pick somebody whose purpose is to support you, to help get you through this visit, to act as your advocate, to take notes, to ask questions, to intervene, to know that when you give them that look that they can say, you know what, I think we need to do this. Just somebody who is a support person. It might be your partner, it might be a family member, it might be a coworker, whoever it is, let them know why you need them to be there. Make sure that they understand why you are wanting them there, whether it's to speak up or to help look out for, a signal or a word or something like that, just so that they can help you and be an extra advocate for you. Tip number 5, share what you're willing with us. Now, I used to say it's really important if you have a history of trauma to let us know. I'd like to make that a little more nuanced and say, if you have a history of trauma, it is helpful for us to know that, and I really just want you to share what you're willing. It doesn't mean you need to go into all the details unless you want to and you find that's helpful for you. For other people, you might just want to say, listen, I was abused as a kid. I don't want to talk about it, but I do want you to know that these exams are hard for me. And if you get somebody who pushes back and says, well, I really want to know the details. How old were you? Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling safe? Is that person in jail? Like, it's okay for you to say, this is my story and I'm in charge of what I tell. Share what you're comfortable. Tip number 6, let us know what works, especially if this is not your first time and you feel like you know what works for you, what doesn't. Here's an example. Let's say you're going to your annual visit, you're due up for a pap smear, and you tell your provider, listen, I have a history of trauma. I don't want to talk about it, but these exams can be really difficult. It is really important for you to tell me everything you are doing before you do it. Here's another example of what somebody else might say. Listen, I have a history of trauma. I just need to get this exam over with. I just want you, when you get started, just to do it and then just tell me when it's over. So what I'm saying here is that it's not a one size fits all. So you tell your provider what you need, whether it's being told everything or just getting it done or showing me what it's going to look like beforehand. Like, whatever it is, let us know and we will cooperate with you. Now, if you get pushback and that doctor or that midwife or nurse practitioner is like, yeah, that's not how I usually think things go best. What I think we should do is you say, no, I am in control here and it's very important. So if you can't do this, please let me know so I can find someone else who can. This might be the most important tip. Tip number 7, stop means stop. This should always be the case. And that's how I practice. I do know, however, that some people have had different experiences out there. But you need to establish that you're in control. Because what happens when you are a trauma survivor? You had your control and your free will and your choice taken away from you. So it is all about, let's give you that control back. So what I mean is, when you say stop, we don't say, oh, we're almost done, or really, it hurts, or whatever. Like, stop means stop. And it is okay for you to have a very direct conversation with your provider and say, listen, doctor, I just need you to know that at any point, if I say stop or if I say whatever word that you've come up with, I know that you're going to stop. And same thing, if you get that weird feeling like they're not going to respect that, it's time to walk out the office door. Just making this very clear will help decrease your anxiety, will put you in control, and will give you a way better experience. Tip number 8. Write things down, whether you write them down or the support person that you bring writes them down, or you ask for your doctor to write them down. I mean, I always think things should be written down because I know when I go to the doctor, I forget most of it and I'm like in the business, I'm in the know. So for everybody who's at the doctor's office, I think this is a great idea, but especially if you are a trauma survivor. And why is this even more important? Because you are in survival mode of getting through this appointment. You may start to dissociate. You may feel completely overwhelmed. You may not be able to remember a lot of what happened. So writing things down, having your partner write it down or rewrite it down and give it to you afterwards can really help you when you need to go back and be like, wait, what did she say about this birth control pill? Or I have no idea what she said that test was for. And even if you write it down and you're still like, I forgot everything or I don't understand it, you can get in touch with us, whether by call or I really like using electronic messaging. So if your provider has that, if they've got a chart program that you can message them through, whatever it is, just know that having these things written down so you can refer to when you're in a more calm state of mind is an excellent way to go. Tip number 9, give yourself grace. Grace for whatever you feel. If you think, oh God, I made this appointment and I said I was going to do my pelvic exam and I just couldn't do it and I had to leave and I told her I'd come back and now I'm just so disappointed in myself. No, none of that self-talk. It is okay if all you did was talk. It's also okay if you got into the waiting room, you had a panic attack and you had to leave and reschedule. Like, whatever it is, you're doing the best that you can. Give yourself grace. Give yourself the same amount of grace and support that you would to your best friend if they were experiencing the same thing. It is okay if on the first, the second, the third try, we don't get there. It's just about getting you to feel comfortable and safe. Which brings me to my last tip, tip 10, celebrate after. And I'm not saying only celebrate if you went in and you did the pap smear and the breast exam and you did all the things. No, I'm talking about celebrate, treat yourself for whatever it is. Like just the fact that you called and made the appointment. Celebrate that. And I'm not saying you have to like spend hundreds of dollars or do some crazy thing, but just plan ahead to treat yourself and say, okay, on Wednesday, I made that OBGYN appointment. You know what? On Thursday, I'm going to go take the day off and I'm going to go see a movie, or I'm going to do whatever. Or I've got that ice cream waiting for me in the fridge. Like just plan ahead to be kind to yourself, because sometimes these exams can be triggering and bring up a lot of feelings. I hope those 10 tips were helpful. I want you to know that as a trauma survivor, we are here to help you, but I do not want you to stay in a relationship that's not good when it comes to doctor-patient or healthcare-patient relationship if it doesn't feel right for you. Everybody deserves to feel seen and heard and to feel that trust. Trauma survivors even more so. So do not feel bad about walking away from a practice that is not working for you. If you have any questions, comments, other suggestions that I haven't mentioned, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. You might not realize how many people you're helping when you share your ideas. And if you want to see more of my content, go ahead and follow me at Dr. Jennifer Lincoln on Instagram, TikTok for more. And to everybody watching today, thank you so much, and go out there and get the care that you deserve.